Hare Krishna. The lyrics are there on the TV screen, just in case if you had to follow. Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Jai Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Gauranitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Prastaya Bhutale, Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschachate Shatarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everyone. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya, Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sitaram, Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya 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 Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranita Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Jai Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Gaura Nitai ki Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna everyone, thank you for joining for the Arati. That was so wonderful, so much of devotion all of you have. And before we go off for the Mahaprasadam, we're going to be offering our obeisance to Guru Parampara. So if you have some space, you please bow down. So very important to get the blessings of our Gurus to progress in our bhakti life. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Stotra Sata Srimadi's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Stotra Sata Srimadi's Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai ki Tulsi Maharani Bhakti Devi ki Vrindavan Dham Mathura Dham ki Mayapur Dham Navadip Dham ki Jagannath Puri Dham Dwaraka Dham ki Bhaktivedanta Manor Dham ki Harinama Sankirtan ki Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. We humbly request everyone, please be seated. We're going to be singing the Narasimha prayer for the protection of all of us and our children. And the lyrics are there on the TV screen. Please follow the lyrics. Thank you. Together, come. Here. You sing so loud. Okay, join. Okay. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadadaini. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatanka nakalaye. Ito Narsimho. Yato yato yami tato Narsimho. Bahi Narsimho Hrudaye Narsimho. Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade. Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade. Tava kara kamalavare naka abduta sringa dalita hiranyakashipu tanubringa keshavadrita narahari rupa jai jagadishu hare Jaya Jagadishu Hare Jaya Jagadishu Hare Kara Kamalava Naka Abduta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Singha Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadishu Hare Jaya Jagadishu Hare Jaya Jagadishu Hare Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. जय श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की गौर निताय की श्रीला प्रभुपाद की Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Arati. It was wonderful to see all the devotion. And I see that, I think it's a holiday time, I think. The children are coming more. We'll have more number of children coming to the temple. And it is so important for us. This is a beautiful platform, this temple over here, for all of us to nourish our children with our culture, with our spiritual education, and about our Sanatan Dharma, you know. What's the original name of Hinduism? It's called as Sanatan Dharma, right? Sanatana means that which is eternal. This knowledge is eternal. and it is coming directly from Krishna. And we are so fortunate that here, and we are celebrating, last week we celebrated the 60th anniversary since ISKCON has started. What does ISKCON mean? International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And very important for us when we come to the mandir to be knowledgeable about some of the things, like how beautiful this milestone is, like 60 years since ISKCON has started. And it is going to grow more and more. Because, in the 70s it started with a few people, but today we have such a big congregation, so many devotees. On a Sunday we have more than 1,000 people coming, 1,500 people come on Sunday. And our Janmashtami is so beautiful. During the festival, I'm sure all of you must be waiting for that, right? September 4th and 6th we are celebrating the Janmashtami, the appearance day of Lord Krishna. And last year we had 70,000 people coming on those 2 days. So you can imagine the kind of our congregation is growing more and more. And how can we thank our Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada? The gurus do all the sacrifices for all of us. And we as devotees, we should acknowledge and we should follow the instructions of our spiritual master. This journey, because we all look for, in our life, we all look for inspiration, isn't it? We all like to be inspired by somebody. We'll always like to be motivated by somebody, right? And if you want to progress in our bhakti life, who can be a greater inspiration than our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, right? He was told by his guru, Saraswati Thakur, the second from the left over there. He was told by his guru when he was young that I want you to go to the Western countries and preach about Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada kept that in his mind because he had so much of love for his guru. And at the age of 69 years, he decided to follow the instructions of his guru. And he went in a cargo ship for 38 days, surviving 2 heart attacks on the way. With just 40 rupees, can you imagine, can you go to a foreign country with just 40 rupees in your pocket, not knowing anyone out there? He started his journey like that. And imagine having the faith in your guru, faith in the holy name, that this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I'm going to just give this message of this Hare Krishna Mantra about Krishna consciousness to the rest of the world. And with that faith, he started this journey. And this is a great inspiration for all of us. Sometimes we are like sailing in two boats, right? We want bhakti also, but we want mukti also, and we want family also. We have so many things in our shopping list, right? But here, the Guru is showing that when you have complete faith in the holy name, that holy name will take you everywhere. And over there, he was just sitting under a tree in New York, and he was just chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Just chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And everybody started gathering, right? And slowly, he started with one temple. And within 10 years, he built 108 temples all around the world. 108 temples at the age of 70 years. Can we even imagine? Can we even open one temple in our lifetime? So this is something which we can all be inspired by our Guru. Our Guru, as Srila Prabhupada has shown us, that when you have faith in Krishna, that when you want to do something for Krishna, then Krishna will give all the protection, all the divine protection. Because many times people, when they have heart attacks, they end their life, isn't it? But here, Srila Prabhupada had 3 heart attacks, twice in the ship and later on. But because he went on the mission of Krishna, so Lord Krishna was always giving the protection. And this Krishna consciousness, what is the name of ISKCON? ISKCON means International Society of Krishna Consciousness, right? Because why consciousness? Because whenever there is an Atma in the body, we are not this body, we are an Atma, we are the spirit soul. And the symptom of the soul is consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada came to give us this message that we are all originally Krishna conscious. But because of this material world, because once we come into this material world, our consciousness is being contaminated by association with the material nature. That's why we have forgotten our original relationship with Krishna. So we are all originally Krishna conscious, but we have forgotten in this material world. Now how do we revive this original Krishna consciousness? By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this Hare Krishna Mahamantra has a very, very important divine purpose. The purpose why we are always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is, when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it will cleanse your heart, cleanse your mind, and the real love for Krishna will awaken in your heart. And when that real love for Krishna awakens in our heart, then you will find that all these pleasures of this material world, they lose their attraction. You're no more interested in all of these things. Why? We got something more precious, like a diamond. You know, when you have a diamond, would you be bothering for a copper or a silver? You won't bother, like, because I got a diamond, right? Very interestingly, when the little Dhruv Maharaj, he was told by his mother that the only way you can get your father's kingdom is by praying to Krishna. And that little one went into the forest and Narad Muni said, go and chant these names, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He took it seriously because Dhruv Maharaj from a Kshatriya family, you know, right? Kshatriyas are supposed to be like very courageous. So the little boy went and started meditating on Krishna, doing mantra meditation. And when Lord Krishna appeared in front of him and asked Dhruv Maharaj, what do you want? You meditated so seriously, I'm ready to give you. Tell me what do you want? And Dhruv Maharaj, after seeing the Krishna in front of him, that is when he realized, he said, Krishna, all this while I chanted your name so that I can get my father's kingdom. But after seeing you in person, now I realize that I was only praying for broken glass pieces. When a diamond like you in front of me, why do I need the broken glass pieces? I don't want anything. I want only you. So all of us, why do we should listen to Hare Krishna, these beautiful Hari related stories? Why this beautiful Harikatha is so important is it will help us in awakening the real love for Krishna. Then all the illusion will be gone and then we will realize, just like Dhruv Maharaj, we will also realize that when Krishna, Radha and Krishna is here with us, why do we need all those pleasures of the world? We'll happily come to the temple, we'll come and serve over here, we will sing for Krishna, we will dance for Krishna. Because what is the philosophy of ISKCON? Chant, dance and eat Krishna Prasadam. Can there be anything more easier than that? Are we asking you to stand on your 1 feet? Are we asking you to go into the forest? Are we asking to go into the Himalayas? Nothing. Just chant, dance and be happy and have Krishna Prasadam. If you come in the morning at 7 o'clock, the 7 o'clock morning program is all the devotees gather over here, ladies on that side, men on this side, everybody is dancing like anything. Just chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and dancing. This is the morning dance. It is like the morning workout. You don't need any other workout. Come here and nicely dance for Krishna. That is your morning workout. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada has given us this Krishna consciousness and taking the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You can see over here, right? Who is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself, but in the avatar of a devotee called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he came in the bhavam of Radharani. He came in the mood of Radharani. He came in the color complexion of Radharani. That's why he is called as Gauranga. Okay? Very important, because tomorrow your children may ask, why are we going to the Hare Krishna temple? Why are we chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Because it was given by Gauranga. He is the one who inaugurated this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, who's Krishna himself, but in the avatar of a devotee. And blue color dhoti, that is Nityananda, who's none other than Lord Balaram. So Krishna and Balaram again came in Kali Yuga 500 years ago in a place called Mayapur, and they are the ones who given us this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Is it okay? Now do you understand like why we are always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? So can I ask everyone, let's keep your hands in the mood of surrender and let's glorify Gauranga and Nityananda. Is that okay? So can I ask everyone, keep your hands up in the mood of surrender and just repeat after me, Gauranga! Still louder, Gauranga! Gauranga! Nityananda! Nityananda! When I say Gauranga, you say Nityananda. When I say Nityananda, you say Gauranga. Okay? Gauranga! 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 Nityananda! 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 Gauranga! Gauranga! Nityananda! Thank you so much. So you see the little one also is nicely chanting. And this is what we want. We want to have more Bhakta Prahlads. Because this Hare Krishna movement, we are following the footsteps of Dhruv Maharaj. We are following the footsteps of Bhakta Prahlad, right? So this Bhakta Prahlad was learning about Krishna when he was in the womb of his mother. And when he came out, he became a great devotee of the Lord. So similarly, for our children, we have to teach about Harikatha when they were young, when they're small children. Because when the holiday time, instead of taking them to Netflix, giving them an iPad, just explain about beautiful stories of Krishna. Explain about Narasimhadev Avatar. We all seen this. I hope everybody has seen that Mahadev Narasimha Swami, the beautiful movie that came up. Isn't that beautiful? Amazingly beautiful, isn't it? I believe there's going to be more and more movies coming up on our different avatars. And this is the time for our children during the holiday time to take them to all this. And also I just want to give you one sloka from Bhagavad Gita before we hand it over to the Hare Krishna, the Harikatha. Is that okay? Are you all ready for that? So, because our children are there, I just want to give you a simple sloka where all the children, we want to tell them early in the morning, wake up, sit in front of Krishna and just offer these 4 things. I will just tell you. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhakta prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam asnami prayatatmana. So children, when you get up in the morning, you should sit in front of Krishna, have a nice bath, sit in front of Krishna, and Krishna is asking for 4 simple things. If you want to love Krishna and if you want Krishna to love you, 4 simple things we should do. Offer a tulsi leaf, a flower, a fruit or water. What do we think? What are the 4 things? Tulsi leaf, flower, a fruit or water. If you offer with love and devotion, Krishna says, I will happily accept it. So let's do it together. I will just tell you, if you want to record, you can record this particular sloka so that later if you want to just get your children to listen to that tomorrow and get them at least 1 sloka in your life from Bhagavad Gita. You start, because a big fire starts with just 1 spark, isn't it? Like that, by just listening to 1 sloka from Bhagavad Gita, our children, they can slowly grow and learn more and more of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So I will just tell you the sloka. Just repeat after me, all of you. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhakta prayachati tad aham bhaktya upahritam asnami prayatatmana. So this sloka is from chapter number 9, Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga, verse number 26. Again, let's do one more time. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhakta prayachati tad aham bhaktya upahritam asnami prayatatmana. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhakta prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam asnami prayatatmana. So Krishna has given us the most easiest way to worship by just offering a tulsi leaf, flower, fruit or water. This is something we should tell our children. Daily recite this sloka, just offer some fruits, and in this way they can start their bhakti life, and in that way they can slowly learn more and more slokas from Bhagavad Gita, which will help them in this journey. When when we come to the temple or we go anywhere, we use a GPS, right? So this GPS is Guru Parampara system, or we can call it as Govinda Parampara system. So by following this GPS, which is the Bhagavad Gita, our children can grow up to be like great devotees and at the same time be very successful in the life. Success is not about being successful in the material life, but also being successful in the bhakti life, right? Following in the footsteps. So I want to can I ask everyone, keep your hands up in the mood of surrender. Let's glorify the Panchatattva who have given us the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then you do a chant and then dive into the Harikatha. So just repeat after me. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And now chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, everyone. So we're going to be having a Harikatha here, and also this Mahaprasad being served in the Haveli. Thank you very much for giving your association.
Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatare Shatarine Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavanyaya Krishna Prempadayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namah Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna everybody Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. So we're continuing to read from Krishna Book, Volume 2. And which chapter are we on? We're in chapter 30, still chapter 30, we haven't finished it. Spiritual instruction for Vasudeva, Lord Krishna's father. and the return of the 6 dead sons of Devaki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayamuririye Shrinvatam Svakata Krishna Punyashavana Kirtana Hridyantasto Hibhadrani Vidimoti Suratsata Nashtabrayishva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Kirtama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prishte Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Prachayane Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashtatire Shatarine. So Vasudev, Lord Krishna's father, is continuing to offer prayers to the Lord, and we'll pick up from where we left off yesterday. If anybody has any reflections, realizations, or questions as we go, raise your hand, let me know, and we can talk about it. Vasudeva is praying to the Lord. Sorry, I've forgotten. We're past Vasudeva's prayers. And where are we now? Well, Mother Devaki asked the Lord if he could return to her the children that had been lost, that had been killed at birth by Kamsa. Because she understood that Krishna was able to grant this wish of his teacher, Sandipani Muni, who had lost his son. So Krishna went to the abode of Yamaraj and retrieved the dead child. Yes, brought the dead child back to life and back to his father. So knowing that Krishna was capable of this, Devaki requested that she might also see again the 6 children that she had lost. So Krishna and Balaram traveled to, first of all, the kingdom of Bali Maharaj in Sutala, one of the lower planetary systems. And there Bali Maharaj received them with great respect and offered his prayers to the Lord. So we're continuing with the prayers offered to Krishna and Balaram by Bali Maharaj. He says, "Your position is always transcendental. For this reason, some of us, although born in the modes of passion and ignorance, have taken shelter of your lotus feet and become devotees. Some of us are actually pure devotees, and some of us have taken shelter of your lotus feet, desiring to gain something from devotion. By your causeless mercy only, we demons come in direct contact with your personality. Only by Krishna's causeless mercy. This contact is not possible even for the great demigods. No one knows how you act through your Yoga Maya potency. Even demigods cannot calculate the expense of the activities of your internal potency. So how is it possible for us to know it? I therefore place my humble prayers before you. Please be kind to me, who am fully surrendered unto you, and favor me with your causeless mercy, so that I may simply remember your lotus feet, birth after birth. My only ambition is that I may live alone, just like the Paramahamsas who, traveling alone here and there in great peace of mind, depend simply upon your lotus feet. I also desire that if I have to associate with anyone, they may be only your pure devotees, and no one else, because your pure devotees are always well-wishers of all living entities. That is the best, the only best type of association. Krishna's pure devotees, who are well-wishers of all. He continues, "My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Master and Director of the whole world. Please therefore engage me in your service and let me thus become freed from all material contaminations." You can purify me in that way, because if someone engages himself in the loving service of your Lordship, he immediately becomes free from all kinds of regulative principles enjoined in the Vedas. You can purify me in that way, because if someone engages himself in the loving service of your Lordship, he immediately becomes free from all kinds of regulative principles enjoined in the Vedas. Srila Prabhupada writes, the word Paramahamsa mentioned here means the supreme swan. Supreme swan. It is said that the swan can draw milk out from a reservoir of water. It can take only the milk portion and reject the watery portion. Did you know this? Did you all know this? Yeah? A swan is able to extract the milk from a mixture of milk and water. Similarly, a person who can draw out the spiritual portion from this material world and who can live alone, depending only on the Supreme Spirit, not in the material world, is called Paramahamsa. When one achieves the Paramahamsa platform, he is no longer under the regulative principles of the Vedic injunctions. A Paramahamsa accepts only the association of pure devotees and rejects others who are too materially addicted. In other words, those who are materially addicted cannot understand the value of the Paramahamsa. But those who are fortunately advanced in spiritual sense take shelter of the Paramahamsa and thus successfully complete the mission of human life. Interesting. Those who are materially addicted cannot understand the value of the Paramahamsa. But those who are fortunately advanced in spiritual sense take shelter of the Paramahamsa and thus successfully complete the mission of human life. You have to be fortunate, and you have to be fortunately advanced in spiritual sense to take shelter of such a Paramahamsa as Srila Prabhupada, who is giving his association in the form of his books. Certainly. After Lord Krishna heard the prayers of Bali Maharaj, he spoke as follows. So now Krishna will speak. My dear king of the demons, in the millennium of the Swayambhuva Manu, the Prajapati known as Marichi begot 6 sons. All demigods, in the womb of his wife Urna. Once upon a time, Lord Brahma became captivated by the beauty of his daughter and was following her, impelled by sex desire. At that time, these 6 demigods looked at the action of Lord Brahma with abhorrence. This criticism of Brahma's action by the demigods constituted a great offense on their part. And for this reason, they were condemned to take birth as the sons of the demon Hiranyakashipu. These sons of Hiranyakashipu were thereafter put in the womb of Mother Devaki. And as soon as they took their birth, Kamsa killed them one after another. My dear king of the demons, again, Mother Devaki is very anxious to see these 6 dead sons. Mother Devaki is very anxious to see these 6 dead sons again, and she is very much aggrieved on account of their early death at the hand of Kamsa. I know that all of them are living with you. I have decided to take them with me in order to pacify my mother, Devaki. After seeing my mother, all these 6 conditioned souls will be liberated, and thus, in great pleasure, they will be transferred to their original planet. The names of these 6 conditioned souls are as follows: Smara, Udgita, Parishvanga, Patanga, Kshudra Prit, and Gurni. They will be again reinstated in their former position as demigods. After thus informing the king of the demons, Krishna stopped speaking, and Bali Maharaj understood the Lord's purpose. He worshipped him sufficiently, and thereafter Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram took away the 6 conditioned souls and returned to the city of Dwarka, where he presented them as little babies before his mother Devaki. Mother Devaki became overwhelmed with joy and was so ecstatic in motherly feeling that immediately milk began to flow from her breasts, and she fed the babies with great satisfaction. She began to take them on her lap again and again, smelling their heads and thinking, "He has gotten my lost children back." For the time being, she became overpowered by the energy of Vishnu, and in great motherly affection, she began to enjoy the company of her lost children. The milk from the breast of Devaki was transcendental nectar, because the same milk had been sucked by Lord Krishna. As such, the babies who sucked the breast of Devaki-ji, which had touched the body of Lord Krishna, immediately became self-realized persons. The babies became self-realized. The babies, therefore, began to offer their obeisances unto Lord Krishna, Balaram, their father Vasudeva, and mother Devaki. After this, they were immediately transferred to their respective heavenly planets. After they departed, Devaki became stunned with wonder that her dead children had come back and had again been transferred to their respective planets. She could adjust the events only by thinking of Lord Krishna's pastimes, in which, because Lord Krishna's potencies are all inconceivable, anything wonderful can be performed. Without accepting the inconceivable, unlimited potencies of the Lord, one cannot understand that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Soul. By his unlimited potencies, he performs unlimited pastimes also. And no one can describe them in full, nor can anyone know them all. Suta Goswami, speaking Srimad Bhagavatam before the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi, gave his verdict in this connection as follows. So now, Suta Goswami is speaking. He says, "Great sages, please understand that the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna are all eternal. They are not ordinary narrations of historical incidences. Such narrations are identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Anyone, therefore, who hears such narrations of the Lord's pastimes becomes immediately freed from the contamination of material existence." We're freed. Such narrations are identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Anyone, therefore, who hears such narrations of the Lord's pastimes becomes immediately freed from the contamination of material existence. We're freed. We just have to realize it. We have to keep hearing. And those who are pure devotees enjoy these narrations as nectar entering into their ears. Such narrations were described by Shukadeva Goswami, the exalted son of Vyasadeva. And anyone who hears them as well as anyone who describes them for the hearing of others, becomes Krishna conscious. And it is only the Krishna conscious persons who become eligible for going back home, back to Godhead. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 30th chapter of Krishna, Spiritual Instruction for Vasudeva and Return of the 6 Dead Sons of Devaki by Lord Krishna. I heard a story from Srila Prabhupada's Leela. I may not have the details exactly right, but I'm sure that the general content is reliable. When Srila Prabhupada was printing one of his books with a publisher in Japan, Dai Nippon, he met with one of the executives of that company, that publishing house. And it was revealed to Srila Prabhupada that this executive had recently suffered the loss of his son. And I don't know how the conversation unfolded, but Srila Prabhupada at one stage said to him, quite frankly, that if you want your son back, then you should surrender to Krishna. If you want your son back, you should surrender to Krishna. Sandipani Muni wanted his son back. Krishna brought him back, actually, from the abode of death. The 6 babies who were killed by Kamsa, Mother Devaki desired to see them again and to hold them. Krishna brought them for her pleasure, just to satisfy her. So nothing is impossible for Krishna. Yeah? We just have to be fortunate enough to surrender to Him and receive His mercy. So keep knocking. We have to keep knocking until we get His help. Dhruva Maharaj did that. He wanted something of this material world from Krishna. And he refused to quit until he found the Lord. 6 months of strictly following the instruction of his Guru Maharaj, Narada Muni. And he saw Krishna face to face. And Krishna said, what do you want? Of course, by that stage, Dhruva Maharaj was sufficiently purified that he decided, actually, I don't want anything in this material world. I was foolish. I have you. What more do I need? And still, Prabhupada says, Krishna is so nice and liberal that regardless of the fact that Dhruva Maharaj had been purified in his desires, still Krishna said, no, you wanted a kingdom? I'm going to give you a kingdom. He fulfilled the initial desire of Dhruva Maharaj, as well as giving him his own pure devotional service. So stick to Krishna. Don't divert your attention to any other demigod. Don't divert your attention to any demigod. Because the results of demigod worship are temporary. Whereas the result of taking to Krishna is eternal. Prabhupada says, don't divert your attention from Krishna. Stick to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada told that publishing executive, if you want your son back, surrender to Krishna. Take full shelter of Krishna. Chapter 31. Before we continue, are there any questions or realizations? Is it difficult? Because depending on the difficulty, I may or may not be able to. Okay, tell me. Sometimes our children are taken away from us.
Like in this system. So, asking for our children to be given back, is that love or is that bondage?
Is it love? asking for our children to be given back.
Love is material bondage.
You mean, does it show that we love them? Is that what you mean? Are we asking to have them back because we love them?
So when our parents die,
When our parents die?
like anybody dies,
Yeah.
these relationships are all materialistic bondage relationships.
Except for when devotees are involved.
Sorry?
Except for devotees.
Except for the okay.
Yeah, devotees have special relationships. They have, to the degree that they are absorbed in Krishna's service, then the relationships with devotees are on the spiritual platform, transcendental platform. But I get your point. All the bodily relations are very much bodily based, so they're temporary. Okay? Then?
Yeah. So asking for the children back.
Yeah.
Is that our love for the children or is that our bondage with the children? That's my question.
Well, the fact that we ask for them back is due to our own attachment to them.
Yeah.
Yes? But it doesn't mean that we also don't have love for them.
Yeah.
Right? We may want to see them happy and safe and healthy and
Yeah.
thriving. And we may feel that we are the best person to help them in that regard.
Yes.
And therefore, because we want them to be all those things, we want them to be well situated, therefore we may feel that I want them back so that I can give them that love. Yeah? Right. So there's love, there's compassion, there's affection, there's attachment. Yeah? And at the same time, because of the bodily connection, yeah, there's bondage. So Kunti Devi, right, she, in one of her prayers, she says to Krishna that she asks Krishna to cut the knot of my attachment to my kinsmen, the Pandavas. The Pandavas are pure devotees of the Lord, right? They're eternal associates of Krishna. And she's asking the Lord to sever the tie of affection, right? Because it's distracting her from her service to Krishna, practically. Yeah? So the best prayer would be, my Lord, you know better than I. Yeah? And you know what everybody needs, and you know what everybody deserves. Yes? I am not the maintainer. I am not God's gift to the world's children. Yes? But you know what's best for all of us. And if you desire that they come back to me, then let them come back to me. Let your will be done. And if there's some better arrangement for them, if they're better off elsewhere, then I'm prepared to sacrifice my desire for their well-being. But you decide. I leave it to you. That would be the better prayer. Yeah? You know, if you love somebody, you want what's best for them. Well, what if what's best for them is not me? In any relationship. Right? So it's a greater act of love to say that let them be happy where they can be happy best. But happiness is also not, the best thing we can desire for them is Krishna consciousness, because that's actually how they'll be happy. We can desire happiness for so many people. Oh, I want everybody to be happy. Yeah, okay, let them have enough to eat. Let them have a PlayStation. Let them have, a nice job by which they get plenty of money so that they can enjoy their lives. Yeah? And still they have to grow old, still they have to get sick, still they have to die, still they have to suffer all the tribulations of this world. Yeah? So what use is it to pray that, all these people get material happiness? There is no material happiness. It's a big con. The only platform of happiness is Krishna consciousness. relationship with the Lord. So if I really wish the best for anybody, I wish that they wake up to their relationship with Krishna. I wish that they become themselves pure devotees of Krishna. That's what I wish for the people I love. Let them become pure devotees of yourself, my Lord. Because if they become pure unalloyed devotees of you, they'll actually be happy eternally. So that's what I should pray for the people I'm attached to. Yeah? And if they can be assisted in Krishna consciousness by being with me, by remaining with me, yeah? Then wonderful. But if their Krishna consciousness would be better served elsewhere, then I'm willing to let go. That's love. That's love. Yeah, if they're better off in their Krishna consciousness without me, then all more power to them. I wish them well. That's love. But if I have to have them and keep them for my own purposes, regardless of what's really good for them, then that's not pure love. That's not real love. Real love means Krishna is the center. Krishna is at the center of real love. If we want to take Krishna out of the center, then it's lust. So we just pray to the Lord. Please, I want the best for these other people, these other living entities. And please bless them with whatever you think is best. Right? Offering such a prayer sincerely, don't you think Krishna will be touched by our sincere, selfless prayer? Don't you think that Krishna will feel soft-hearted towards our selfless attitude of wanting the best for another of his children? Yeah. Of course Krishna would like to receive such a prayer where we sincerely and without attachment pray for the well-being of someone else. Right? I mean, it makes a change from everybody who comes in front of him and says, give me this, give me that. Gimme, 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 gimme. Right? Just all day, every day, gimme, 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 gimme. Yeah? How about, I'm attached. Please give this person your own devotional service. That's what I wish for them. And if we love them, then we'll keep praying like that. And by praying like that, the material attachment will be uprooted. Yeah? Because now our attachment is purified. It's dovetailed in Krishna's service. It's devotional service to offer prayers to Krishna. This is called vandanam. Yeah? So when we pray to Krishna, we glorify the Lord for his qualities. Yes? And his wonderful personality. And we can also make requests, sure. But the best request is for the well-being of someone else. And the ultimate well-being is Krishna consciousness. So by praying for someone else's Krishna consciousness, that is devotional service. And by that devotional service, by engaging your attachment to some other living entity in Krishna's service, your attachment becomes purified. You become free from that material attachment. And you yourself become more Krishna conscious. So that's how we should pray for others that we are attached to. And it may sometimes be hard because we want something out of it too. I want something for myself. Yeah? It's like, okay, Krishna, whatever you decide is best, But you know, and I know, that I would really like it if you decided that I could get what I want out of the relationship as well. If I could have it my way, yeah, I would really prefer it if I also got what I wanted. That's honest. But in spite of that feeling and that honesty, we say, Krishna, I surrender to your will. Yeah, and whatever you decide, I'll accept it. I won't moan and groan and kick and scream. I'll accept it as your decision and your mercy, because you know best. Not so easy, but very good. Is that okay? Okay, shall we go on? Chapter 31. Welcome. We're reading from Krishna book, Volume 2, Chapter 31. These are the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. And by hearing these narrations, one can be completely liberated from all material existence. So if you're attached to your material lives and you have big plans for enjoying in this material world, you might want to think twice before remaining here and hearing these narrations. Yeah, because the more you hear, the more likely it is that you will lose all interest in material existence, and you may want to become free, and you may want to return back to the spiritual world to be with Krishna in an eternal, blissful, knowledgeable life. So if you don't want an eternal, blissful life full of knowledge, but you want to remain in the material world and suffer threefold miseries and lose the things that you love and have to go through a birth, death, disease, and old age, then you can leave now. Okay? So it's your choice. Nobody's forcing you to stay. All right, chapter 31. The kidnapping of Subhadra and Lord Krishna's visiting Shrutadeva and Bahulashva. After hearing this incident, that means the incident of Lord Krishna's bringing back the 6 dead sons of Devaki, and delivering those babies to her. After hearing this incident, King Parikshit became more inquisitive to hear about Krishna and his pastimes. And thus he inquired from Shukadeva Goswami how his grandmother Subhadra was kidnapped by his grandfather Arjuna at the instigation of Lord Krishna. King Parikshit was very much eager to learn about his grandfather's kidnapping and marriage of his grandmother. So in those days, the Kshatriyas would sometimes kidnap the bride, and this was considered chivalrous. It is chivalrous. They in this way demonstrated their powerful ability to win her over and to fight off combatants. Yes, it proved their heroism. This is especially common among the kings, the Kshatriyas. So this is how Arjuna married Subhadra. He was able to kidnap her. She enjoyed this, okay? she wasn't protesting, in case anybody's worried. Thus, Shukadeva Goswami began to narrate the story as follows. Once upon a time, your grandfather Arjuna, the great hero, was visiting several holy places of pilgrimage. And while he was thus traveling all over, he happened to come to the Prapasa Kshetra. In the Prapasa Kshetra, he heard the news that Lord Balaram was negotiating the marriage of Subhadra, the daughter of Arjuna's maternal uncle, Vasudeva. So Subhadra was the sister of Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna. Yeah. So Arjuna heard that Krishna's father Vasudeva was negotiating Subhadra's marriage. Although her father Vasudeva and her brother Krishna were not in agreement with him, Balaram was in favor of marrying Subhadra to Duryodhana. Arjuna, however, desired to gain the hand of Subhadra. So Balaram had some inclination of marrying Subhadra to Duryodhana, but Krishna and Vasudeva did not agree. Arjuna wanted her hand in marriage. As he thought of Subhadra and her beauty, Arjuna became more and more captivated with the idea of marrying her. And with a plan in mind, he dressed himself like a Vaishnava sannyasi, carrying a tridanda in his hand. The Mayavadi sannyasis take one danda, or one rod, whereas the Vaishnava sannyasis take 3 danda, or 3 rods. The 3 rods, or tridanda, indicate that a Vaishnava sannyasi vows to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his body, mind, and words. The system of tridanda sannyasa has been in existence for a long time, and the Vaishnava sannyasis are called tridandis, or sometimes tridandi swamis, or tridandi goswamis. Sannyasis are generally meant to travel all over the country for preaching work, but during the 4 months of the rainy season in India, from September through December, they do not travel, but take shelter in one place and remain there without moving. This non-movement of the sannyasi is called Chaturmasya Vrata. When a sannyasi stays in a place for 4 months, the local inhabitants of that place take advantage of his presence to become spiritually advanced. The famous example is Narada Muni himself, who received the mercy of great Bhaktivedantas, who remained in his place during the rainy season and autumn. Okay, so Arjuna, in the dress of a tridandi sannyasi, remained in the city of Dwarka for 4 months, devising a plan whereby he could get Subhadra as his wife. The inhabitants of Dwarka, as well as Lord Balaram, could not recognize the sannyasi to be Arjuna. Therefore, all of them offered their respect and obeisances to the sannyasi without knowing the actual situation. So this is interesting, huh? Arjuna disguised himself as a tridandi sannyasi. And nobody could recognize him while he was in this guise. One day, Lord Balaram invited this particular sannyasi to lunch at his home. Balaramji very respectfully offered him all kinds of palatable dishes, and the so-called sannyasi was eating sumptuously. While eating at the home of Balaramji, Arjuna was simply looking over beautiful Subhadra, who was very enchanting even to the great heroes and kings. Out of love for her, Arjuna's eyes brightened, and he began to see her with glittering eyes. Arjuna decided that somehow or other he would achieve Subhadra as his wife, and his mind became agitated on account of this strong desire. Arjuna, the grandfather of Maharaj Parikshit, was himself extraordinarily beautiful, and his bodily structure was very much attractive to Subhadra. Subhadra also decided within her mind that she would accept only Arjuna as her husband. As a simple girl, she was smiling with great pleasure, looking at Arjuna. Thus Arjuna also became more and more attracted by her. I can hear Srila Prabhupada in the background. It's difficult for me. We can hear Srila Prabhupada in the book through this fool speaking into the microphone, or we can hear Srila Prabhupada directly in his audio recording. I would probably prefer the recording myself, but anyway, it's quiet now, so we'll continue. So, Subhadra also decided within her mind that she would accept only Arjuna as her husband. As a simple girl, she was smiling with great pleasure, looking at Arjuna. Thus, Arjuna also became more and more attracted by her. In this way, Subhadra dedicated herself to Arjuna, and he resolved to marry her by any means. He then became absorbed 24 hours a day in the thought of how he could get Subhadra as his wife. He was afflicted with the thought of getting Subhadra, and he had not a moment's peace of mind. Once upon a time, Subhadra, seated on a chariot, came out of the palace fort to see the gods in the temple. Arjuna took this opportunity, and with the permission of Vasudeva and Devaki, he kidnapped her. After getting on Subhadra's chariot, he prepared himself for a fight, taking up his bow and holding off with his arrows. The soldiers ordered to check him. Arjuna took Subhadra away. While Subhadra was being thus kidnapped by Arjuna, her relatives and family members began to cry. But still he took her, just as a lion takes his share and departs. When it was disclosed to Lord Balaram that the so-called sannyasi was Arjuna, and that he had planned such a device simply to take away Subhadra, and that he had actually taken her, he became very angry. Just as the waves of the ocean become agitated on a full moon day, Lord Balaram became greatly disturbed. Any questions so far? Or thoughts? Anything that jumps out at you from the text? Okay, we'll keep reading. Lord Krishna was in favor of Arjuna. Therefore, along with other members of the family, he tried to pacify Balaram by falling at his feet and begging him to pardon Arjuna. Lord Balaram was then convinced that Subhadra was attached to Arjuna, and he became pleased to know that she wanted Arjuna as her husband. So as soon as Krishna fell at his brother's feet and begged him to pardon Arjuna, Balaram was then convinced that Subhadra was attached to Arjuna, and he became pleased to know that she wanted Arjuna as her husband. So he wasn't attached to his own idea. He was simply happy for her, what she wanted. The matter was settled, and in order to please the newly married couple, Lord Balaram managed to send a dowry consisting of an abundance of riches, elephants, chariots, horses, servants, and maidservants. Maharaj Parikshit was very anxious to hear more about Krishna, and so, after finishing the narration of Arjuna's kidnapping Subhadra, Shukadeva Goswami began to narrate another story as follows. There was a householder Brahmana in the city of Mithila, the capital of the kingdom of Videha. The capital of the kingdom of Videha, Mithila. So this Brahmana, whose name was Shrutadeva, was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Due to his being fully Krishna conscious and always engaged in the service of the Lord, he was completely peaceful in mind and detached from all material attraction. He was very learned and had no other desire than to be fully situated in Krishna consciousness. Although in the order of householder life, he never took great pains to earn anything for his livelihood. He was satisfied with whatever he could achieve without much endeavor, and somehow or other he lived in that way. Every day he would get necessities for life in just the quantity required. Not more. So he received exactly what he needed and not more. That was his destiny. The Brahmana had no desire to get more than what he needed, and thus he was peacefully executing the regulative principles of a Brahmana's life as enjoined in the revealed scriptures. Fortunately, the king of Mithila was as good a devotee as the Brahmana. The name of this famous king was Bahalashva. He was very well established in his reputation as a good king, and he was not at all ambitious to extend his kingdom for the sake of sense gratification. As such, both the Brahmana and King Bahulashva remained pure devotees of Lord Krishna in Mithila. Since Lord Krishna was very merciful upon these two devotees, King Bahulashva and the Brahmana Shrutadeva, he one day asked his driver Daruka to take his chariot into the capital city of Mithila. Lord Krishna was accompanied by the great sages Narada, Vamadeva, Atri, Vyasadeva, Parashurama, Asita, Aruni, Brihaspati, Kanva, Maitreya, Chavana, and others. Lord Krishna and the sages were passing through many villages and towns, and everywhere the citizens would receive them with great respect and offer them articles in worship. When the citizens came to see the Lord and all of them assembled together in one place, it seemed that the sun was present along with his various satellite planets. In that journey, Lord Krishna and the sages passed through the kingdoms of Anarta, Dhanva, Kurujangala, Kanka, Matsya, Panchala, Kunti, Madhu, Kekaya, Koshala, and Arna. And thus all the citizens of these places, both men and women, could see Lord Krishna eye to eye. In this way, they enjoyed celestial happiness, with open hearts full of love and affection for the Lord. And when they saw the face of the Lord, it seemed to them that they were drinking nectar through their eyes. When they saw Krishna, all the ignorant misconceptions of their lives dissipated. When the Lord passed through the various countries and the people came to visit him, simply by glancing over them, the Lord would bestow all good fortune upon them and liberate them from all kinds of ignorance. In some places, the demigods also would join with the human beings, and their glorification of the Lord would cleanse all directions of all inauspicious things. In this way, Lord Krishna slowly and gradually reached the kingdom of Videha. When the news of the Lord's arrival was received by the citizens, they all felt unlimited happiness and came to welcome him, taking gifts in their hands to offer. As soon as they saw Lord Krishna, their hearts immediately blossomed in transcendental bliss, just as a lotus flower blooms on the rising of the sun. Previously, they had simply heard the names of the great sages, but had never seen them. Now, by the mercy of Lord Krishna, they had the opportunity of seeing both the great sages and the Lord himself. Children, we have to behave, okay? Yes? We're in the temple room. We have to be very respectful of the Lord, who's watching our every move. Yeah, and he's very powerful. He's very powerful, you know. Some people think that God can zot you with a thunderbolt and all that's left is a pile of ash. Yeah? So we don't want to be zotted by God's thunderbolt. When we're in the temple room, we have to be very respectful and not chit-chat. Yeah? No chit-chat in Krishna's temple room. If we want to chit-chat, we can chit-chat outside the temple room. There's so much space to run around and chit-chat. But in here, no chit-chat. Right? We're hearing about Krishna. That's why we're here. Okay? And we don't want to disturb others' hearing. So, any chit-chat, you might get a lightning bolt. She didn't like that. Okay, I've warned you. Don't blame me. Okay, let's continue. So previously, the citizens of Videha had simply heard the names of the great sages, but had never seen them. Now, by the mercy of Lord Krishna, they had the opportunity of seeing both the great sages and the Lord himself. King Bahulashva, as well as the Brahmana, Shrutadeva, knowing well that the Lord had come there just to grace them with favor, immediately fell at the Lord's lotus feet and offered their respects. With folded hands, the king and the Brahmana each simultaneously invited Lord Krishna and all the sages to his home. In order to please both of them, Lord Krishna expanded himself into two and went to the houses of each one of them. Yet neither the king nor the Brahmana could understand that the Lord had gone to the house of the other. Both thought that the Lord had gone only to his own house, that he and his companions were present in both houses, although both the Brahmana and the king thought he was present in his house only, is another opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This opulence is described in the revealed scriptures as Vaibhava Prakasha. Similarly, when Lord Krishna married 16,000 wives, he also expanded himself into 16,000 forms, each one of them as powerful as he himself. Similarly, in Vrindavan, when Brahma stole away Krishna's cows, calves, and cowherd boys, Krishna expanded himself into many new cows, calves, and cowherd boys. Yes, so the Lord is capable of expanding himself, but remaining complete and potent in each one of his expansions. So he went to the house of both Bahulashva and Shrutadev. Yes, at the same time. Bahulashva, the king of Videha, was very intelligent and was a perfect gentleman. He was astonished that so many great sages, along with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were personally present in his home. He knew perfectly well that the conditioned soul, especially when engaged in worldly affairs, cannot be 100% pure, whereas the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his pure devotees are always transcendental to worldly contamination. Therefore, when he found that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and all the great sages were at his home, he was astonished, and he began to thank Lord Krishna for his causeless mercy. Feeling very much obliged and wanting to receive his guests to the best of his capacity, he called for nice chairs and cushions, and Lord Krishna, along with all the sages, sat down very comfortably. At that time, King Bahulashva's mind was very restless, not because of any problems, but because of great ecstasy of love and devotion. His heart was filled with love and affection for the Lord and his associates, and his eyes were filled with tears of ecstasy. He arranged to wash the feet of his divine guests, and after washing them, he and his family members sprinkled the water on their own heads. After this, he offered to the guests nice flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, incense, new garments, ornaments, lamps, cows, and bulls. In a manner just befitting his royal position, he worshipped each one of them in this way. When all had been fed sumptuously and were sitting very comfortably, Bahulashva came before Lord Krishna and caught his lotus feet. He placed them on his lap, and while massaging the feet with his hands, began to speak about the glories of the Lord in a sweet voice. So we're going to have Bhagavad Gita class in a few minutes. Yes? And we're going to be taking that big seat at the back and bringing it forward into the center of the room. Yeah, so don't mind if someone asks you to move while they take the seat. Let's finish by reading the next paragraph or two. Yeah? So this is the prayer. This is the glorification of King Bahulashva to his very dear Lord Krishna. He says, "My dear Lord, you are the super soul of all living entities, and as witness within the heart, are cognizant of everyone's activities. As such, being duty-bound, we always think of your lotus feet so that we can remain in a secure position without deviating from your eternal service. As a result of our continuous remembrance of your lotus feet, you have kindly visited my place personally to favor me with your causeless mercy. We have heard, my dear Lord, that by your various statements You confirm your pure devotees to be more dear to you than Lord Balaram or your constant servitor, the goddess of fortune. Your devotees are dearer to you than your first son, Lord Brahma. And I am sure that you have so kindly visited my place in order to prove your divine statement. I cannot imagine how people can be godless and demoniac, even after knowing of your causeless mercy and affection for your devotees who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness. How can they forget your lotus feet? So hearing the prayers of such devotees, we learn so much about Krishna and so much about his relationship with his
Hare Krishna, everyone. So we'll be having Bhagavad Gita class now, and yeah, so it'll be on the verse on the board. So before, what we'll do, we'll sing Jai Radha Madhava. This is a bhajan written by one of our previous teachers, and basically what it describes is the spiritual world. And in describing the spiritual world, it describes the goal of why we're here. Just like before anything we do in life, it's always good to know why we're doing it. When we know why we're doing something, we can focus with attention on it. So similarly, this bhajan can help us to focus on why we're doing it. If you do know the words, then please join in. If you don't know, that's okay. Just the sound vibration itself is so powerful that it will have its impact, even if you know it or not. So, also, if you'd like as well, you could kind of face me as well. If you'd like, you could kind of sit facing here. It's up to you. Just be easier. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari 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 Jaya Yasodanandanan Jaya Raja Janaranjana Jaya Raja Janaranjana Jaya Yasodanandanam Jaya Raja Janaranjana Jaya Raja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gaurani Sai Gaurani Sai Gaurani Sai Jaya Gaurani Sai Jaya Gaurani Sai Gaurani Sai Gaurani Sai Jaya Gaurani Sai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Shila Prabhupada Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraj Jakacharya Astutar Sata His Divine Grace Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sakho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Brihad Madanga Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Oh glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So firstly, thank you everyone for coming this evening. So we'll have some discussion on this verse on the board in the Bhagavad Gita. Very famous verse. We'll have some discussion. Okay, so we'll recite the verse, and then we'll have some discussion about it, and hopefully, something we can take something away, and it can inspire us to move forward in our lives. I'll say out. Okay, so if you'd like to repeat after me, it's on the board. So Yam Yam Vapi Smaram Bhavam Tyajati Ante Kalevaram Tam Tam Evati Konteya Sadatad Bhava Bhavita Yam Yam Vapi Smaram Bhavam Jajati Ante Kalevaram Tam Tam Evati Konteya Sada tadbhava bhavita yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam evati konteya sadatad bhava bhavita. Would anyone like to have a go at the verse? Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam evati konteya sada tad bhava bhavita yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam evati konteya sada tad bhava bhavita yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam evati konteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Anyone else? Okay. Yam yam, whatever. Vapi, at all. Smaran, remembering. Bhavam, nature. Tyajati, gives up. Ante, at the end. Kalevaram, this body. Tam tam, similar. Eva, certainly. Eti, gets. Kuntiya, O son of Kunti. Sada, always. Tat, that. Bhava, state of being. Bhavita, remembering. Translation: whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Purport: the process of changing one's nature at the critical moment of death is here explained. A person at the end of his life quits his body thinking of Krishna, attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. But it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental nature. This is a point we should note very carefully. How can one die in the proper state of mind? Maharaj Bharat, although a great personality, thought of a deer at the end of his life, and so in his next life he is transferred into the body of a deer. Although as a deer he remembered his past activities, he had to accept that animal body. Of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one to be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. If one is transcendently absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. Om Jnanatimrandasya Gyananjana Shakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Saim Rupa Katamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Prajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padansaha Ganaladita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Kurna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshre Brishabhanu Sutudevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhishta Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. So yeah, firstly, thank you everyone for coming to the temple on a Friday evening. I know there's very many different things that people could be doing, so thank you for all coming. And yeah, we'll try and have some discussion on this verse. It's a very famous verse, and it's actually relevant to all of us, even though it may seem that it's not so relevant. So Srila Prabhupada translates, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. And the first thing when I read this verse that stood out to me, I was thinking about, it's obviously speaking about the time of death, the time that one quits their body. And I was just thinking it's so easy to put these things aside. How easy is it to just not think of death? There's so many inevitabilities that can happen in life, but we can get caught up so much in the present and what's going on now in our lives that we forget what's the inevitable that's going to happen to me. And so Krishna here is very kind because he's bringing us right to the essence of life. When we read these scriptures, sometimes they may seem, you may have heard of this word, very cutting, cutting like a sword, because it's very in your face. It forces you to look at the realities of life. That death is going to come, and what questions and what answers do we have to this when it comes to us? So although when we hear these statements, when we hear these verses, sometimes it's very difficult to digest for us. But when we hear it regularly and we start to ponder it, what happens is it starts to become how we live. It doesn't necessarily mean we do externally much different, but what happens is it starts to integrate into our lives. So the way we interact with the world itself actually changes. It's not that externally it has to change. Externally things change, but our direction changes towards what's the real purpose of life now, and we direct our activities towards that. And so it's speaking about death, and I was just thinking back, and I remember when I was at school. I was maybe, how old was I? I was maybe 12 or 13 years old. And what would happen was we were in a geography lesson, and we'd be learning about birth rates, death rates, and these kind of things. And I remember our geography teacher once, he put this, he put something on the board, and what it was a website, and what it was doing was, since when we joined the website, it was counting the number of deaths and births during that time. I'm not sure the name of it, but it was describing that, and what basically happened was, and you could just see, with a red dot, it was a birth, and with a black dot, it was a death, and it showed around the world where these were going on. And I was just like, because we were young, a lot of us, were just kind of laughing about it. But I look back and I'm like, how amazing is that? And how crazy is it to some degree? In the sense that our life is just like a dot, and just like that, it can be gone straight away, just like that, at the click of our fingers, and we have no idea what could happen at any moment. And so the philosophy that's given by Krishna is meant to awaken us to the realities of life. And so in that state, we can actually start to become aware of what's the meaning of our life, what's the purpose of our life. And so I remember I was just thinking about that, and not just how fickle our life is, how temporary our life is, not just that, but also how frequently it's going on around us. There's a famous discussion between actually, who is it? I can't remember who it's between, but it's someone is speaking to Maharaj Yudhisthira, who's one of the Pandavas, one of Krishna's associates, and he basically says, what's the most amazing thing? going on in this world, you know. And Marjudas describes, I'll read it out, he says, the most amazing thing in the world is that no one thinks that they're going to die. And in this purport, Srila Prabhupada describes that hundreds and thousands of living entities meet death at every moment, but a foolish living being nonetheless thinks himself deathless and does not prepare for death. This is the most wonderful thing in this world. Everyone has to die because everyone is fully under the control of material nature, yet everyone thinks that he is dependent. I'll just stop there. But this is when we say that this philosophy it breaks our illusions, it forces us, because if we look at ourselves, the way we may say we understand death is coming, but we don't live that way. If someone was to say, this is the last day of your life, is this how you would like to lead it? Is this what you would like to be doing? And we don't come in touch with these questions often enough to really contemplate, is this where I want to go in my life? And so Srila Prabhupada is saying that we have to prepare for death. You know, we have to take the time now to prepare for death. And it's and what does Srila Prabhupada say? Srila Prabhupada says that how do you prepare for death? And he's saying at the time of death, what you think about during your life on a moment-to-moment basis is the thing that you'll think of at the time of death. And if we think about that a bit more, why is that the case? Because at the time of death, it's such a traumatizing experience. It's such a traumatizing experience. We can't consciously think ourselves. I couldn't find the quote, I was looking for it, but in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is another text, in one of the verses it describes what's the experience of one in the body when they're about to die. And it describes it's describing how there's mucus, you know, coming through one's body. It's very vivid about the description, about what's happening. And basically one is completely unconscious. One is experiencing so much pain a lot of the time that they're just forced to basically give up their body. They've given up internally because there's so much pain going on in their body. And so there's no way one can consciously think about anything. There's no way one can consciously think, oh, right now I'm going to choose to think like this. And so what this is saying is that we have to take the time now to actually make an effect about what's the purpose of our life and what we're going to think of at the time of death, because that, as Srila Prabhupada is saying here, that will determine the destination we experience next life. And we may think this is like a nice thing, like, oh yeah, of course, like next life, yeah, if I think of this, I'll be that person. But this is a reality. There's a book written by, I'm not sure the name it was written by, but it's called Veda. And the book Veda, what it describes is, it describes how people, they could experience their previous lives. They had a conscious awareness of where they lived in their previous lives and who they were in their previous lives. And it describes different accounts where they had certain experiences where they could say that, you know, I don't know why, I just know that I know this place very well. Sometimes they could recite languages which they had never been taught in their life. And so when they took these people back to those places and they spoke their languages, they realized that actually this was a person who lived in that body previously. And so what we can understand is that this is real. This is a reality that we will experience, and then it's up to us whether we want to take it. And so then the question is, what is it that we want to remember, and why is it that we want to remember Krishna? Because here Krishna is saying, in the previous verse it says, and whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. And then here Krishna is giving you the chance of saying, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he'll attain without fail. So Krishna is giving you the chance. He's giving you the opportunity. Is that what you want? What would you like to remember? And so then, why is it we want to remember Krishna? If we think about this term remembrance, is quite nice, because if you break it down, we have different processes in the practice of Bhakti Yoga, and what we start with is Shravanam. Shravana means to hear. So like we're doing now, we're hearing about Krishna. We're hearing about the philosophy of Krishna. And then what happens when you hear about something? Generally what happens? When you hear about something, well, the next thing is that you'll speak about it to someone, isn't it? And you'll notice this. This is like when you'll go to work or you go to these different places, people speak about what they've been hearing about. Oh, this was happening in the newspaper. I was watching this last night. Oh, the FIFA World Cup was going on. This was happening. So what they're hearing, what they're intaking with their senses, they'll then output with their mouth. And so this is called kirtanam. So kirtanam means speaking, glorifying the Lord. And so after this kirtanam comes remembrance. So smaranam means remembrance. And so what this means is that by glorifying, one then remembers. And we can experience this in our own life. And there's a nice example, and it's not that we're trying to mechanically remember Krishna. It's not that we're trying to force or remember things, because it actually, in the core of everyone's heart, is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that what's the verse? Anyway, I can't remember the verse, but what it describes is that in each and everyone's heart, that there is love of Godhead sitting there. It's sitting there, and it's just waiting for us to reawaken it. And this process of hearing and chanting about the Lord, it naturally reawakens that love. And so if you love someone, naturally you remember them. It's not a difficult thing. You don't have to try consciously to think about someone. But it's a natural thing. Isn't it? When you go to work, in the back, you may say that, okay, I'm focusing on my work, but in the back of your mind, you may be thinking of, you may be thinking of your wife, or you may be thinking of your children, because there's love, there's affection. So naturally, at the time of death, the thing that is closest to our hearts and the deepest, the thing that we have cherished the most in our life, through remembrance, is the thing that was going to come out, isn't it? I think I remember, I think that was, when they, on these aeroplanes, they have the black box, isn't it? And I think I remember they were, I can't exactly remember, but I just remember hearing, because they can basically record kind of what's going on, and so a lot of the things that, what would you think are some of the things that people would be saying as their last breath if they knew that they were going to, the plane was going to crash? What would be the things that would come out? Because I think there was one in particular that stood out to me that I remember hearing that came up a lot. The one that came out was mum. So a lot of people, as their final thing, they would call for their mum. Yeah. And this is obviously very nice and very wonderful that they're calling for their mum. But if we look at it objectively, in a very scientific way, actually everyone in this world, or each relationship we have in this world, is temporary. So by that nature of being temporary, ultimately it'll lead to disappointment in some way. And in that case, could in that airplane, could that person's mother save them? No. The mother couldn't save them, despite we may say it's nice, but actually the mother couldn't save them. So ultimately, why we're looking to remember Krishna? Because Krishna's the only one that can save us. He's the Lord of our lives, and He's the only one that can actually save us in all our situations in life. And so I thought that I would give an example of this, because there's there's a really wonderful example that's given in our scriptures. So there's a great saint called Prahlad Maharaj, and some of you may have heard of Prahlad Maharaj. And it's described in our bhakti texts that he's each process of Krishna of bhakti yoga, whether it be hearing or chanting, remembering, worshipping, they each have a specific personality who has perfected their lives in that way. They've developed love of Godhead in this way. And so for the remembrance, for smaranam, as it's been spoken in this verse, it's Prahlad Maharaj. So we'll describe his story, and hopefully we can learn some lessons from his story. So we'll actually start in an interesting part of his story. We'll start in his past life. Okay? Because it's always nice, because in these scriptures it's nice, you get the whole picture. You don't just get one life on its own. Because some people may say, you know what, he's taken this spiritual life so seriously, why is it taking me so long? But when we get the whole picture, we can see things so very clearly about what's going on. And so what happens in Prahlad Maharaj's previous life, it describes that he's born in a Brahmana family. So Brahmana family, in the sense he's very well cultured. He's brought up to follow specific religious, scripture injunctions. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki jai. And so it describes that he's following, he's born of a Brahmana's, as a Brahmana's son. And what happens is that he's, as he's born as this Brahmana's son, he then comes into bad association. And in this bad association, he becomes attached and attracted to a prostitute. And so he lives his life trying to fulfill all his desires by living with this prostitute. And then what happens is that there's one evening where him and the prostitute, they basically have a quarrel, they have an argument. And this particular day, it happens to be a very auspicious day, and it's a festival, Nrsimha Chaturdashi. So Lord Nrsimhadev, who we have a picture of up there, he's half lion, half man, and it's described that so Nrsimha Chaturdashi is when he appeared, okay, and so it described that he when he appeared on that day of his appearance into this world, it describes that because they had this quarrel, the Brahmana's son, who was Prahlad in his previous life, and this prostitute, what happened was because they had this quarrel, he didn't feel like eating. So he fasted that whole night. And not just did he fast that whole night, he couldn't sleep as well. So he stayed up the whole evening as well. And it was said that just because unknowingly he performed this, he got the next birth as Prahlad Maharaj. And so this is one lesson that we can take, is that each and every one of our situations, whatever situation we're in, we have such a wonderful opportunity to become God conscious, Krishna conscious this lifetime. And we may feel that, okay, I'm not so progressed in my spiritual life, or I'm not so far down the line. But we should know that we're getting a great opportunity, and it doesn't matter where you're at now, because things can rapidly change, as we'll see in Prahlad Maharaj's life in the next life. So what happened was, in his next life, he took the birth in the womb of Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu, he was a great demon. And sometimes we hear of these words, demons, and we may not fully understand what a demon is, but it's interesting because he was Hiranyakashipu. He was a great devotee of Lord Brahma. So this is very interesting, because sometimes we think demons are bad people, they just hate people, they want to curse people, but he was a worshipper of Lord Brahma. So then the question is, what is the difference between a demon and a demigod, or a devotee and a demon? And if we look more deeply at it, it's actually intention of everything that one is doing. It's not necessarily the externals of what's doing, because he's worshipping Lord Brahma. We could externally look at him and say, wow, this is a great saint. He's worshipping Lord Brahma. But what was his intention? His intention was he wanted to play God. He wanted to worship Lord Brahma. Why? Because he wanted to become immortal. And we may say, wait, actually, I want to become immortal as well. I don't want to die. So what we can see is that ultimately we're struggling with these same demons in our own heart. We have these same propensities in our own heart. And it's not to be despondent about, but when we become honest and we start to see that these desires are there, these demonic tendencies are there, what it creates is that it creates an urgency to hear this message. Isn't it? If you hear on two spectrums, you hear at one side, you're an all blissful, loving person, but you also see in your own heart, you have all these demonic tendencies. The thing that you want to do is, I need help now. And when you need help, it's the perfect method, because isn't it? If you go to a doctor, if you have actually, let's take a teacher for example. If you have a student and they're really eager to learn, aren't they the best students? Don't you love teaching them? Because you know that they really understand, that they really want to learn, they're so eager. So similarly, when we realize the problem, the actual demonic tendencies in our heart, then we really become eager to hear this knowledge. And so this is actually what happened when Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb. So actually we'll come back to that. But so it described that Hiranyakashipu, so he was performing these great austerities, and when he was performing all these great austerities, his wife had Prahlad Maharaj in the womb. And because the demigods, we should understand, Hiranyakashipu, he was causing so much fear to everyone. Even the demigods, they rule everything in this cosmos. Like they're ruling the clouds, everything that's going on, the sunlight, the water, everything. And they were frightened. So you can imagine what we would be like in that state. so the demigods, they were completely frightened, and they saw that, okay, Hiranyakashipu has a son coming. If this is the state of Hiranyakashipu, his son is going to be even worse. We need to get rid of him. Okay, so the demigods, they basically took Hiranyakashipu's wife away, and they were basically going to try to end the life of the son. And then what happened was Narada Muni, he stopped them and said, no, don't do that, because there's a great saint who's in the womb. So what I'll take care of them while Hiranyakashipu was performing these austerities. And while he's performing, so what happened was Narada Muni took Hiranyakashipu's wife to his hermitage. And what happened was, while she was waiting for Hiranyakashipu to come back, he spoke this Bhagavad philosophy, this philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And it was described that she heard that. And the interesting thing is, not only she heard that, but because Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb, he also heard that. And you sometimes may see this where, when there's a child in the womb, that they'll hear scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, because it describes that actually the child there, he's hearing what's going on. And especially when you're young, whatever you hear in these first years of your life, it goes so deeply in your consciousness that you don't even realize how deep it is. So it leaves such deep impressions that you then view the whole world through that lens when you grow up. So it's such a, if people have that chance, it's such a wonderful chance to have, opportunity to have. So Prahlad Maharaj had this. But when we look at what happened, so when Hiranyakashipu came back from his austerities and his wife went back, what was described was, although she heard the philosophy, when she went back to Hiranyakashipu, she completely forgot all the philosophy. And then the question is, but Prahlad Maharaj, he was in the womb and listening, but he remembered it all. So then the question is, why is this the case? Why is it one remembered, one didn't? And so what was described was, because Hiranyakashipu's wife, because she was so attached to Hiranyakashipu still, what happened was, because she was attached to someone who wasn't, who didn't have good qualities, who was against the Lord, her attachment basically destroyed her holding this transcendental knowledge. And so similarly, we may experience this where we'll come to a class, we'll hear something, and then when we go out the door, we're like, wait, I can't even remember a word that person said. And and the reason is because there's deep attachments to other things of this world. But Prahlad Maharaj, then what was the difference between Prahlad Maharaj? Prahlad Maharaj, he didn't have this. And why was that? So how do we come to this state where we can really imbibe this knowledge in our heart, so it doesn't just become, something we hear and it goes like the other here. But as we're saying that, we want to remember this. We want this to stick in our hearts. And so Prahlad Maharaj, it describes in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it describes how the state that one experiences in the womb. And we can probably imagine what it's like in the womb. You're in a completely helpless state. You're just experiencing, you're completely dependent on your mother. Imagine being in this state where you're completely cramped up for 9 months in a womb. How uncomfortable is this experience? Not just that, you're completely dependent on whatever the mother eats. So whatever the mother eats, you're having to digest that. You don't have a choice, you don't have anything. No one's there for you. They're also conscious living beings, but no one's there for them. So they have no idea. They're realizing in their hearts. What are they realizing? They're realizing dukkhalayam ashashvatam, that actually this material world is a place of misery. And because they're in this state of deeply understanding that this world is a place of misery, what do? They're so eager, they're so helpless in hearing this transcendental knowledge that actually it sticks in the heart. Because it then sticks in the heart, Prahlad Maharaj was able to hold this wisdom wherever he went. So the difference in hearing is actually what helps us to remember. So the quality of that hearing is what helps us to remember. When we come to the class, do we really feel that this is actually my life and death? I need to hear this knowledge. I have an urgency in my heart to hear it. And it won't happen to us overnight, but what happens is each time we come in contact with this, if we become a bit more intense about hearing it, over time this cascades, it's like a habit. And so then naturally when we come to this knowledge, there's a natural eagerness to hear. There's a natural affinity to want to hear this message. And so then what happens is that Prahlad Maharaj, he then came out of the womb, and when he then came out of the womb, he was completely fearless. He was completely fearless. He was completely fearless, and it was described that although he went to a school now because his father was Hiranyakashipu, and so he went to a school, and it describes he went to a gurukul. And gurukuls, they're usually meant for training one in spiritual education, but because they were all demonic, his school was slightly different. And if we actually listen a bit more about what his school was like, we'll start to see the similarities between the schools that we send our children to and the schools that they went to as well. And why is this the case? The reason is because they were basically teaching them all the things of this world. And what happens when you teach someone all the things of this world at such a young age? If you look at it in essence, one is basically teaching one a philosophy of how to live against God. Like we were saying before, Maharaj Yudhisthira was saying that actually, the most amazing thing is that we don't realize that death is going to happen to us, but we act as if it's not. And so, if you look at what scientists are doing, what are scientists mainly spending their time? And I did a natural sciences degree at university, so I'm not against science, but I can see this very clearly in the sense of what are scientists doing. What scientists are doing is they're trying to come up with solutions to stop death. If you look at it objectively, they're trying to come up with solutions to stop death. But death is inevitable for all of us. So they're just wasting time. They're wasting time. And what's that doing? You're trying to go against God's laws. So that's also atheism. You're being an atheist. And this is what we imbibe and is classed as so valuable when we're going to school, when we're sending our children to school. Everything is, we're proud of being atheists. I remember I had a teacher at A-levels in biology. He was proud of being an atheist. I was there like, what is. Anyway, so this is the situation that we're sending our children into. And so similarly, Prahlad Maharaj was in that situation. But because he'd heard from Narada Muni, he was a great soul, and he was able to then view the world in this way. So it describes as he went through this situation in his life, he never felt alone. Why did he never feel alone? He never felt alone because he always had the word of his spiritual master with him in his heart. And so we hear so much about, there's difficulties in life of loneliness, feeling all these difficulties that people experience. The way out is through sound vibration. Through this sound vibration, you can actually experience that you're never alone. That actually the Lord is in each and everyone's heart, and He's always with each and every one of you. And so by this sound vibration, he never felt alone, and he used this vibration that his spiritual master had given him to view the world in a specific way. So he then viewed the world. In our scriptures, it's called Shastra Chakshush. Chakshush means vision, and Shastra is the scriptures. So he viewed the world in this way. And so he was just watching the situations and what was being taught to him. And what then happened was, but he was never disrespectful to them. He was never disrespectful, very obedient. So they couldn't even realize that he was a great saint and what he was doing. And so he would follow everything they were doing. But in his heart, he was always remembering the spiritual master and always remembering the Supreme Lord. Anyway, we carry on. And what then happened was, his father, Hiranyakashipu, he often asked him, what are you learning at school? Or what's the most profound thing? And Prahlad Maharaj, although he was very submissive and humble and obedient, he was very respectful, but another quality of a devotee is he'll tell the truth. He'll tell the truth, he won't deny the truth. Because why? Because Krishna is the one who's giving the truth. If you're denying the truth, you're denying Krishna. And the devotee can't deny the Lord. No matter who's in front of them, they can't deny the Lord. Because why? Because they're experiencing the Lord. Srila Prabhupada once said, he said, someone asked him about how are you defeating all these people. He was coming in touch to so many different philosophers and so many different people who were coming up with so many things against God. And because Srila Prabhupada, what he said was, because I'm seeing Krishna everywhere. I'm seeing Krishna every day. How can I not go against what they're saying? It's like if someone's saying, if you're eating a mango and someone's saying like, oh, I don't like mangoes, but you're like, the mangoes taste good. Oh, that's a personal preference, but the point is that if one is experiencing something, there's no way one can deny that. And so similarly, Prahlad Maharaj, he was never afraid of this. And so he would always say the truth to his father. But what happened was, this caused his father some despondency and a lot of anger. And why is that? If we think about it, because he was trying to play God. His boon that he wanted was to become immortal. So he wanted to play God's role. He wanted to take God's role. So then what happened was, if someone defeats you in that philosophy, saying that you're not God, what does it do? It will naturally make one angry. So Hiranyakashipu became really angry. And he was saying that you're worshipping the enemy, you're worshipping Vishnu. And so then what happened was, well, there's more to that, but I don't think I'll get time. And so he was saying that you're worshipping the enemy. And so then what happened was, after the time of this going back and forth, he then decided, I need to kill this Prahlad. I need to kill Prahlad Maharaj. And he's a 5-year-old child. Just put yourself in that situation. He's a 5-year-old child and thinking, I need to kill this child now. And so because he was trying to kill him, and he put him through so many situations. He tried to poison him. He tried to throw him from a mountain. He tried to put him in fire. And what happened was, in each and every one of those times, Prahlad was completely fine. And we may think of this as like a superheroes movie or that kind of thing. You know, we see these like superhumans like jumping off, but this actually happens. This is a reality. And so what was it that carried Prahlad through all these different things? It was his remembrance of the Lord. Not just remembrance with faith. There was this shraddha, this faith that actually the Lord is personally there. He can protect me. The Lord's in control of everything. So if he wants to protect me, that's completely fine. If the Lord wants to protect me from dying, then that's completely fine. If he doesn't want to protect me, that's completely fine. Why is a devotee fearless? Because he knows that if death comes to a devotee, Krishna says in the Gita that I come as death. So how is it the case that the devotee is fearless? Because the devotee knows that Krishna is so kind. He is so much in touch with Krishna that they know Krishna is all kind. So if he's bringing me death to me, he just wants to bring me back to him. So Prahlad Maharaj was completely fearless. And so he didn't care if you would die or not, but he just carried on remembering the Lord. But in that remembrance, the Lord protected him. And this is another lesson we can get from this. As we go through our lives, when we're put in challenging and troublesome situations, it doesn't mean we don't be practical about it, but by remembering the Lord, this can carry one through the most challenging situations of life, however inconceivable they may be. Why do I say this? I say this because the Lord likes to put his devotees through challenging situations. And he'll put his devotees through impossible situations. And why is that the case? In one of Srila Prabhupada's, in a purport of Srila Prabhupada, there's a name of Krishna. It's called Trivikrama. Trivikrama basically means Krishna who likes to perform inconceivable activities. Okay? And in the purport, when Srila Prabhupada mentions this, he says that, so we can take from this that the devotee likes to perform inconceivable activities, so the Lord likes to perform inconceivable activities. So, guess what? The Lord's devotee can expect inconceivable activities to be performed through him as well. So what do we understand by this? When we're put through crises and difficulties in life, what we can understand is through remembrance of the Lord, we can be carried through the difficulties. It doesn't mean we won't go through challenges, but the Lord will give us the insights of how to work through them. And what happens is these crises, they're like, it's like if you have a good trainer. I used to play a lot of cricket, so I used to have a coach. And so if my coach was a really good coach, what would he do? He would train me in a really vigorous way, so that when I went to play the match would be easy for me, no? That's what a good coach would do. So, similarly, Krishna's the best trainer. He's so expert. He puts his devotees through crises and difficulties. Why does he do it? So that you're ready for the test. What's the test? The test is at the time of death, that you can remember him. So all these situations, each and every one go through in life, it's actually to help us deepen our remembrance and faith in him. So at the time of death, there's no chance. There's no even possibility of any gap in our consciousness. It's just Krishna. Because he's helped us so much. He's helped us awaken this love for him. And so Prahlad Maharaj is completely fearless through all these situations. And yeah, anyway, we'll carry on to finish. And so Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu then said to him that, Prahlad, what is it about you? We can't kill you. He just said it straight to his face. We can't kill you. What is this force that is going on? And Prahlad was so humble. He didn't say, "Oh yes, I'm a great person. The Lord is protecting me." He said, "The same power that's carrying you is the same power that's carrying me." He said, "It's the supreme Lord." And Hiranyakashipu was so angry at this time because anyway, we'll come back to why maybe if we have time. But he said, "Is the Lord in this pole?" And he pointed to this pole and he said, "Is the Lord in this pole?" And Prahlad Maharaj said, "Yeah, He's in each and every atom." And so then he was so angry, he was about to smash Prahlad. And what happened was, because Prahlad said that the Lord would save him, Hiranyakashipu came out from this pole and he destroyed Lord Nrsimhadev came from this pole and destroyed Hiranyakashipu to protect his devotee. And this is very sweet as well, that why is it that it describes in our scriptures in the Srimad Bhagavatam, why is it that Lord Nrsimhadev came? There's a few reasons why. So the first reason why he came as a half man, half lion, is because he wanted to fulfill the desire of his devotee Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma made a boon to Hiranyakashipu that he won't be able to be killed by any human. So what did Lord Nrsimhadev do? He came as a half man, half lion. Isn't this very sweet? The Lord we're worshipping, he fulfills the word of his devotee. Usually think if you're in a master-servant relationship, the servant has to fulfill the word of the master, but not in this case. The master's trying to fulfill the word of the servant. So it's very sweet. So that's one reason why he came as Lord Nrsimhadev. Another reason why he came as Lord Nrsimhadev was because Prahlad Maharaj as well in that state, he said that, yeah, my Lord, he's in here. He's in each and every atom, because he had that faith, he had that vision. And because of that, the Lord he's so indebted to his devotee for what he went through. Imagine you have someone that you know, and for you they went through all these troubles and travesties just out of faith to you. So because the Lord was so obliged, he had to fulfill his word as well to Prahlad and said, "Okay, I have to come." And it was described as well that why did he come at this time? Why didn't he personally come before when Prahlad was going through all these crises? And another reason why he let Prahlad go through all these crises, what does it do? Right now, what are we doing? We're glorifying Prahlad Maharaj, no? So another reason why the Lord let his devotee go through all these crises was actually to glorify him. Isn't that very sweet? He was Lord Nrsimhadev's in the heart of Prahlad Maharaj, so he was giving him the faith, he was giving him all the assets to go through all these crises. So another thing we can understand is that the Lord likes to put his devotees through difficulties. Why? Because he likes to glorify them. So this is another wonderful way. The Lord will give you the power to go through the situation, but because he wants to glorify you as well at the same time, he will then also put you through these crises. So this is another reason why Prahlad Maharaj, and just like today, we're glorifying Prahlad Maharaj. How many years later? So, and then the last thing I'll say actually is about Prahlad Maharaj was his compassion, and we'll just end on this point, and how Prahlad Maharaj is so wonderful, because when the Lord asks him, "Why is it? What can I give you now? Can I give you some boon? Let me give you something." And Prahlad Maharaj, he says something so wonderful. He said, "My Lord, I'm not afraid of this material existence. I'm not afraid of anything. Because I'm always remembering you, I'm never afraid. But my anxiety in my heart is that actually I see all these people in this world and they're constantly making plans. And because they're constantly making plans, I'm so anxious and I want them to be delivered. So please can you deliver them? Please can you use me to deliver them?" And the Lord was so moved by this compassion. And Prahlad Maharaj, imagine this, his father who'd put him through so much, he was willing to forgive him, and he prayed, Prahlad Maharaj prayed that please deliver Hiranyakashipu from this situation. So yeah, I think we'll end there because we don't have so much time. But yeah, thank you all for coming, and I hope that I hope this you could take something from this class, and it can help us all move forward in our Krishna conscious journeys. Okay, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari.
श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, श्री श्री गौर निताई की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की बजायो जायो गौरा चंद्र आरती का Govinda Basu Koshadi Gaya Shankar Baje Ghanta Baje Baje Karatala Kanda baje, baje karatala. Madhura medanga baje. Madhura medanga bhaje paramarasala Shankha bhaje Ghanta bhaje Madhur 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 bhaje Shankha baje, Ghanta baje, Madhur 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 baje. Shankha baje, Ghanta baje, Madhur 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 baje. Madhur 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 baje Madhur 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 baje Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujwala Kala de Sevana Mala Kore Jalamala कभी विनोदा देखे गौरार संपादा कि जय जय गौरा चांदे आरती का शोभा जाना विधाता बने जग मन लोभा गौरांगे आरती को शोभा जग जन मन लोभा गौरांगे आरती को शोभा जग जन मन लोभा गौरांगे आरती को शोभा जग जन मन लोभा निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Stotra Sada Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Stotra Sada Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Gangamaya Yamunamaya Ki. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Nitai Gaur Pramanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Now everyone can please be seated. We'll sing the prayers for Lord Nrsingadev. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nidai Gora Haribo, 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 Nidai Gora Haribo. Shri Shri Nashire Bhagwan ki, Bhaktaraj Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gaur Pramanandi. We'll be continuing the kirtan here in the temple room. Everyone is welcome to stay.